Hi. So I just want to ramble about. I was going to ramble specifically about Tanahashi's retirement, obviously, but I just want to ramble about my experience with Wrestle Kingdom. So this is the first time I've ever watched the New Japan events live. Truly, quite surprising. I've watched a bunch of New Japan back catalogue. I mean, a bunch. I mean, the Kenny and Okadas. Any match that's had Bryan, most notably Sabre Jr. match and Okada, and I've watched AJ versus Shinsuke. You know, they're the big ones. They're the ones that jump to mind. And I've always wanted to get into New Japan. Not that I haven't been a fan. It's just I've just never really jumped into it. And same with CMLL to a lesser extent, but obviously New Japan's legacy with Kenny, the Bullet Club, Okada, Chaos, all this stuff. It's something that's I've always been intrigued about, and I've always been eager to learn more and more about. And this is the first time I watched a true event live, and obviously, main draw was Tanahashi, but I was very excited to see Takeshi fight too. Big Takeshi guy. I want to just talk about briefly, just my ramblings, because I had to watch it in work, so that's why the collision review was late. I'm apologetic for that. And I was able to watch it from the morning to work. I had to watch it in increments. So I watched the I don't know if it was the Bullet Club or what. It was War Dogs or something versus the team with the new United Empire with Andrade. Obviously, I watched the what's the girls' names? I don't want to botch their pronunciations. The women's names. For the Stardom and New Japan Strong women's title. Kamatani, I think her name is, against Cyan or what. I'll have to try and find the names in a minute. The main match that really gripped me was the Aaron Wolf. That was excellent. Aaron Wolf versus Evil. I really enjoyed that. And then I've never seen, I can't believe it. I feel like I'm going to get judged. I've never seen Yota Tsuji ever. And he was facing Takeshi there. I fuck with that guy. He's cool. I really want to see a lot more Yota Tsuji. And the main event, obviously, was Tanahashi. I will say, Tanahashi is a guy who I've always known about and respected. Obviously, it's kind of hard not to. I'm still yet to see a lot of his match catalogue. I've still never got round to it. But I've wanted to watch him versus Kota. His main match, essentially, for a while. And, other matches, but mainly, the main ones I've always been intrigued about are him and Shibata, him and Shinsuke, him and Kota. I don't know why they're the ones that stick out of my head. Obviously, him and Okada. I adored this match. I think this match was perfect. I think the representation of Tanahashi's resilience just in that match, and just having it go more and more, just up, and up, to a point where even Okada's baffled by it. And the arrogance of this new AEW heel Okada is baffled by this arrogance, who always fakes out the Rainmaker shot with the middle finger. And he still has to do the actual Rainmaker shot. It feels like it was I don't know how to describe it. It felt like a respect thing. I loved it. And just Tanahashi showing that he will not give up in that emotional, I love that emotional promo. And for it still to not be enough. I think that this is the retirement that had a lot of closure. It felt like a natural thing. It was very respectful of Tanahashi, but still had him lose. I feel like this is what people kind of wanted from the Cena finale. Even though I loved the ending of the Cena match, I feel like people wanted a lot more, representation of Cena's resilience, and I didn't think they got that. But I don't want to really make this about Cena. I want to just talk about the match with Tana. I thought Tanahashi was excellent. It was a very apparent that, his knees are gone. It's very apparent. I remember seeing Tanahashi live at it was both the AEW in Glasgow and the AEW Forbidden Door event, where it was the main one where I think it was Glasgow, where you seen him come down the ramp. Oh god, his knees were shot, and it's a shame. But I love the guy's look. I think the guy's clearly got charisma just flowing out of him, and how legendary his impact is. The iconability of Tanahashi is something I always respect. The main thing people are going to look at and talk about is the ending of the ceremony, and I love that. I adored it. Obviously, Okada beats him. Okada, bear in mind, heel Okada, says, I just want to say thank you, and leaves. And then Tanahashi's in the ring, and then does a little speech. No, he does a speech after this. So first person who comes out is Jay White, and it was a big deal for Jay White because obviously Jay White was banished from New Japan, so he comes out. First time we've seen Jay White in a while, comes out and shows a lot of respect to Tanahashi. Obviously, a lot of these people have got a lot of admiration and respect for Tanahashi, a lot of love, so that's why. So then you get him. Then you got Ospreay, which first time again we haven't seen Ospreay since his injury. Really nice to see Ospreay. It looks well. So does Jay White, but Ospreay, they both look really well. Then the big shock for me was Kenny come out with Kota. Now Kota in New Japan, I'm not too familiar with the history, but all I know is there's a history with Kota in New Japan. I think they didn't end on good terms or whatever. But when Kota's obviously just had broken leg via Josh Alexander, and Kota's walking out with no crutches, walking down a ramp with Kenny. It was genuinely insane and shock Kota Ibushi, but just it was insane. It was kind of like to represent, how much he wanted to be there, and I kind of get that, but Kota Ibushi just needs to look after himself. We think Darby's insane. Kota's insane. I love Kota Ibushi, but Jesus, that man needs to calm the hell down. And then the final one, which after seeing it, even I know the legacy between the two is Shibata. Now, Shibata's music hits, and Tanahashi just breaks. Oh, it's incredible. Then Shibata gets in there. Well, Shibata walks out with the fingers in the ears because he's a heel, I assume. Then comes in, and he goes up to Tanahashi, and then he takes his shirt off and goes, "Let's go," and they start locking up. They give each other a chop, and then they hug. A proper embrace. It was really lovely to see. Then they had two legends. I don't know them, so I apologize. I don't mean to be disrespectful. They come out from outside. I think they're very high up, New Japan legends. They come up. And then the big one for a lot of people, Naito. Naito obviously having a lot of history with New Japan recently. And he went to Noah recently, but he got to play his themes. He was slower getting down the ramp than... he took longer getting to the ring than Kota Ibushi did with a broken leg. It's insane. And then basically, I think that was it. They all show respect to Tana. And Tana does his big air guitars and then has a parade around the arena. And that's why I had to check out because I got caught watching it in work, so I couldn't really continue watching it too much more. But I really, in general, just overview of the card, I love that moment. I'm a big fan of moments of wrestling. Not hype moments and aura, not that shit, but just moments, emotional. And even though, Sting's retirement is a big one. Sting retirement, even though I wasn't aware of Sting's entire career, that entrance alone to Sting was such a great moment to kind of make you go, okay, this guy's a big deal. And not that Cena didn't really have that, I don't think. But Tanahashi, I feel like this ending moment just, I don't know, I've always been a fan of just simplicity of colleagues showing admiration. I'm always a fan of people showing their love and admiration for people. And for Tanahashi, I really love this. I really adored this. I just wanted to ramble about that, but I also want to talk just about what I thought of the event. I thought the event was excellent. I want to rewatch it. I want to really rewatch the Takeshita versus Yota Tsuji match. And I missed the card today. I know there was a card today. I feel like I will watch that at some point. I won't. It's not really. I feel tired. I'm surprised I'm making this video, but I'm really wiped today. So I'll try and watch that soon. But I really am... Yota Tsuji was my takeaway. I know a lot of people talk about, New Japan and stuff, they're in a dark place, which they kind of are. But I thought this event was excellent. I really did. From a non-New Japan fan perspective, I really enjoyed it. And I want to keep up New Japan. I'm going to try and make the attempt. I'm definitely going to try and take more note of the event. I really wanted to make sure to watch all of the G1 this year, and I never did, and I should do. I should go back and watch Sabre Jr. versus Takeshita. I'm going to do that before I make my Match of the Year video. Someone hold me to that, please. But Matt Aaron Wolf, that was his debut match, and I thought that was excellent. I really enjoyed that match. I know a lot of, if you're a New Japan fan, please let me know. But a lot of people I've seen a lot of videos, people saying, New Japan, really, this is a big thing for New Japan Tanahashi, because that's, one of their only icons left, really, and they're kind of done after that. AEW's really done a number on them in terms of the talent, with Jay White, Ospreay being prime examples. And I just want to know what your opinion on how the event went. How did it go as a New Japan fan, if you are one? or just a neutral, what do you think of the event? How did it set up New Japan's future? Because I feel like that was the big question going into it. That's what intrigued me a lot, even going into it. Obviously, it was a great send-off for Tanahashi. I'm really happy that happened. But a lot of people talk about the future and what it built, and I want to know what it is. I really want to know. I'm going to ask two things of you all, if you're New Japan fans. I really want to know, one, what you thought of the event and, you know, going forward, what this does for New Japan. Does it seem like it's a good starting off point and stuff? Like a reboot in a way. But also, please, and this is going to sound insane, give me some Yota Tsuji matches, because I fucked with that Takeshita match. I adore that match. I don't know what it was. It was just great. Like, I love Konosuke Takeshita, but that match, it really gripped me. I'm going to try and... I'll probably make a separate video about that match. But I really enjoyed that match. So with the Aaron Wolf one. But this, I enjoyed that Yota Tsuji one a lot. So, yeah, I didn't want to really talk about Tanahashi's retirement here. I know I talked about a lot with what happened in the ceremony. But I just wanted to talk about what my opinion on Wrestle Kingdom, to be honest. Because I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I was more looking forward to just Tana, but again, some of the matches got sucked in, and I would love to have some recommendation. I know a comment by King was in a previous video asking me to watch Prince Devitt versus Shinsuke in a New Japan match, which I will do. I want to make that very apparent. I really want to watch that match. I watch most matches people recommend me. But, like, I want people to recommend me some, just how to help me with New Japan. Because it's something that has intrigued me, and I think this is the time. After that, modern New Japan specifically. So, if anyone can give me some tips and tricks to keep up with New Japan. And CMLL is going to be a whole thing. I want to get into that more. But I think this year is going to be a big year for me, for wrestling in general. And I just kind of wanted to say that, really. But I think Yota Tsuji is going to be one of my guys. I don't know what it was. I feel like that guy just gripped me. Like, I just got him. I feel like I just watched that match. And again, Takeshita's unbelievable. I love Takeshita. But I just watched that and I just thought, yeah, I like you. I want to keep up with you. So Yota Tsuji's now one of my guys. But yes, what did you think, Wrestle Kingdom? What was your opinion on the entire matches? And again, please give me some Yota Tsuji stuff. And let me know how this sets up New Japan in the future, because I really am intrigued by that. So I'll make a separate video on Tanahashi specifically, because I want to watch some matches before I do that. But yeah, I want to just talk about Wrestle Kingdom because I really enjoyed it.